Welcome, my dear students. Today we are going to do Evans tries an O level, a new chapter, a very interesting chapter. But before starting the chapter, let me tell you about the author, Colin Dexter. Colin Dexter was born on 29th September 1930 and he passed away on 21st March 2017. He is a British crime writer who is known for Inspector Endeavour Morse, which appears in detective novels authored by him. These novels, written between 1975 and 1999, were adopted as a television series from 1987 to 2000. Dexter has received many awards and accolades, including 2 Silver Draggers, 2 Gold Draggers, and a Cartier Diamond Dragger for lifetime achievement in 1997. He was conferred with the 1996 Macavity Award for his story Evans Tries an O Level. In the year 2000, he was appointed an officer of the Order of British Empire for his services to literature. And now it is time for summary. But before starting the summary, I would like to tell you something more about this chapter. This is a detective fiction dealing with the account of the jailbreak by Evans, a criminal who was an expert in escaping from prison. The story deals with his smartness, foresight, and planning his escape. With his meticulous planning and keen observation, Evans outsmarts the prison authorities. The story deals with the clever escape of Evans and the governor's pursuit to catch him. Evans, with his ready wit and charm, proves at the end that things are not what they seem to be, and we should not jump to the conclusion hastily. The story begins in the Oxford prison, where the governor contacts the Secretary of Examination Board on the telephone. Evans, on the prisoners, wanted to appear for the Evans, one of the prisoners, wanted to appear for the O-level German exam. He was already taking private tuitions. The governor, when asked by the board, confirmed that Evans was not violent but a congenital kleptomaniac. Congenital kleptomaniac is a kind of disease in which a person tries to steal things without any reason. Means he is not poor, he is not dying of hunger, but he is in habit of stealing small things. That is called as kleptomaniac. It was decided that he would appear for the exam in the cell. A parson from St. Mary's Church would investigate. a parson from St. Mary's Church, would invigilate and Evans should remain incommunicado. All the preparations for Evans' examination were made. He had escaped from the jail 3 times earlier and was supposed to be shifted to another house later. The governor was very irritated by Evans and did not want to take any chance. On June 7 at 8:30 p.m., the German tutor who was giving private tuitions to Evans wished him good luck as he had his exam the next day. On 8th June, Mr. Jackson and Stephens, the two jail officers, entered Evans' room and took all the precautionary steps. They took away his razor after he shaved along with his nail scissors and nail file. They asked Evans to take off his untidy white and red hat, but Evans requested them to let it remain with him as it was his lucky cap. At 8:45, Reverend McCleary left his flat and reached the prison. He had a small brown briefcase containing a sealed question paper, a yellow immigration form, a special ID card, a paper knife, the Bible, and a newspaper. The exam was to be held at 9:15 in Evans' cell. At 9:10, the governor switched on the receiver. Evans' cell was locked and prison officers were on alert. The examination started with the paper number 0251 and index number 313 and center number 271. At 9:40, the governor got a call from the examination board that a correction slip was left behind, and so the governor allowed the correction slip with the spelling of Golden Lion. The examination continued and Stephens kept a watch on the cell. At 10:50, Evans requested for permission to wrap a blanket around him. At 11:25, the exam got over. Stephens personally escorted McCleary to the prison gate. He was looking slimmer and his Scots accent was more prominent. Everything went off well. Stephens thought of having a last look at Evans before getting relieved and was shocked to find a man lying in Evans' chair covered with blood. It was McCleary. Evans was reported to have escaped. Police and ambulance were called. McCleary showed the question paper and said that he knew where Evans was. The governor instructed McCleary to be taken to hospital. He was shown a photocopied sheet. Detress Carter arrived and took McCleary along with him to provide medical assistance to him on the Elsfield Way, where Evans could not be found, as this was the message written on the question paper. After some time, Carter reported that Evans could not be traced and he had left McCleary at Radcliffe Hospital. The governor called at the hospital and found that there was no McCleary. Later it was discovered that the real McCleary was found gagged and bound in his house. Now the fact came to the notice that it was Evans who had stayed at McCleary in the cell. Meanwhile, Evans was enjoying his freedom at a luxurious hotel, but he was surprised and shocked to find the governor in his room. Evans felt defeated and confessed that there was no mistake in the spelling of Golden Lion, but it had been done since the hotel had not been fixed. Correction slip was used to convey the name of the hotel and know what time the exam had started. The governor told Evans that when he put 313 by 217, he knew that it referred to the middle of Chipping Norton. McCleary had worn 2 collars, 2 black fronts, etc., and Evans had changed all this get-up under the blanket. The governor was keen to know from where did he get blood to pour on his face. Evans admitted that it was pig's blood in the rubber ring that McCleary had brought. Now Evans is handcuffed and ushered into the prison van. The van left and it turned right from Chipping Norton. The prison officers unlocked the handcuffs and asked Evans where he would like to go. In fact, they were Evans' friends. Evans had once again outsmarted the governor. So in this way you have understood the story. It is a very interesting story, and as you are doing earlier, you'll have to read this chapter line by line on your own. After this video, I would like to share with you one more video where the whole story by the students of one school is played in the form of a drama. So you will watch that, and I hope after watching it you will understand the chapter properly, as it is one of the interesting but difficult chapters. So there is a possibility that I would explain some part of this chapter. Okay, thank you.